that. Pull these pedals off my guitar rig. Got rid of the pedal selector. Got rid of the amp selector. No more. I was having some noise and just too much stuff, and realizing I had some sort of a ground loop, or I don't know. So last night I started researching and I tore this all apart. All the cabling, all the everything. I went back to my old stand and what they said was they were talking about like using like all the like trying to be careful of using like a lot of wall warts or like wall bots to plug in different pedals, having them all running together. It just gets to be messy. So under this pedal board, I have a Voodoo Labs 4x4, and it has 8 isolated power streams. And, 2 of them can be 9 volt or 12 volt, 400 milliamps. 2 of them are 9 volt, 400 milliamps, and 4 of them are just standard 9 volt for like Boss pedals. So after all of this trying to figure out how to get this to configure, I said, you know what, just keep it simple, man. This, like, you just went over, anyway. So the way I've got it is these are the 9 volt 400 milliamp, and this is the 12 volt 400 milliamp. And I gutted the whole back. I labeled all the cables with exactly which cable it is and what it is, 9 volt, 200, whatever it says. And then I put the other 4 here. And I got rid of all the daisy chained things. I had a bunch of pedals daisy chained. I had all kinds of Voodoo Labs splitters. I got rid of everything, and that's it. And if I plug straight into the amp, it sounds amazing. And my first thought was, well, I'll set up the Boss pedal selector, and I'll put these in their chains. And I thought, you know what? Forget that. I don't want that thing in there. I don't want that Boss. I don't want that radial. I don't want anything. So now it's like if I plug into here, I go all the way through here and I plug into the amp, and it sounds absolutely perfect. Sorry about that. And if I plug into here, it goes all the way through here, and then I plug out of here, and it sounds perfect. And I can actually just daisy chain these if I want, and I'll just have the whole board if that's what I want. Which in a sense, if I just hit those 2 patches on the Boss, that's what I'm going to have anyway. And then I can also have these in front, and then I can run these through the loops. So that's it. It's all cleaned and labeled. Sorry about that. It's all cleaned and labeled. They were talking about using shorter cables, which I've always known that, but I found like the shortest, best cables that I have. And I'm running a couple of 10-foot cables, and that's it, straight in. No tuner either. I got to figure out, because the tuner was making a lot of weird noise with the Boss splitter. So I've just taken off the tuner. I'm using a Snark right now and just keeping this simple. I may just set the tuner up here on a separate thing and then just plug into it and plug out of it. But that's it. I've also got all of this power now going through this trip light, and it goes all the way around here to the studio. So it's all connected. And a bunch of people said if you're working in a studio, that's the best way to do it, because I realized, I was thinking, well, nothing's really attaching, but wait, if I'm running out to a DI, which I disconnected to DI, I have to connect that when I'm going to use it. But also like Axe-Fx goes straight into the converter. So this is it, and it sounds perfect. I mean, holy smokes, so clean. And I've been having, when you have a lot of pedals and splitters and select, I don't know. I mean, unless you just have like a tech that, I don't know. I've always done my best to keep it clean. And most of the time it's pretty good, but it does start to get away from me. And it definitely did. So now I've got all these pedals. And I mean, when I'm saying I pulled all these pedals, these are all extra 9-volt adapters and 18-volt adapters that were going to pedals. These are all the stereo cables that were going for they were going for effects loops. And then a bunch of these cables I pulled, and then these 9-volt adapters I pulled. They're just sitting there. But I mean, I had a pile here last night. So I went at it till about 1, and then I was like just sitting here and I was doing that, like Einstein calls it, like quiet thinking, he would call it, I think it was, where he just sits there and just either he thinks about the problem or he just spaces out, and then all of a sudden it comes to him. And that's a part of how he came to the whole theory of relativity, right? Through this quiet thinking. And it's kind of a thing I've always naturally done. I did it before I knew what it was, but I don't know, maybe it was just spacing out. But and then it hit me. I'm like, dude, relax. And you know, it's so easy to look at it's easy for other people to look at your life and go, oh man, just relax. But it's like when you're in the throes of, like, I mean, you guys know me, man. I'm like OCD. Like I'm like one of those people that's just wired a certain way. So I have to go through this whole process and finally surrender. So, but that was it. I realized, you know what, just, you have room for 8 pedals. That's it. You can have a couple of, 9-volt adapter, an 18-volt adapter if you want to run a compressor or your gate, and and then if you plug it in, it sounds great. If it's a problem, then you got to work on it. But that's it. So I have a bunch of other overdrive pedals. I just put those on there just for now as like those placeholders. But this Goldmine came with the Mark 7. I haven't even tried it. The Mounier is really great, and so is this Early Bird. I think I'm going to sell the Eventides. This is a good fuzz. These are good things. And I've got down here the amp selector switcher thing, the radio, and this Boss thing. I think I'm going to sell all this. I may keep the radio for doing stereo because it's got ground lifts. And then, I've got a volume and a wah. And that's it. So, yeah, it's been a journey, man. Like, let me get this dang tape off here. But that's it. So, yeah, I'm so stoked. Everything sounds so great now. It's so clean. It's so clean. And this is where I came from. When I first started the studio, and my buddy Greg was, working with me for all those years, he was like a fanatic. Like, he didn't even want a patch bay. Like, he's like, nah, man, he would plug the mic straight into the back of the preamp. And he would use like the shortest possible cable. And he had this really expensive monster cable that he used with guitar. And it was like 8 feet long or so. I don't know. It was like, that was his thing. So this is not new for me. So basically this is it. Like 3 overdrives, the EQ stays, and those guys are always there. And the overdrives can be swapped around, but they're all 9-volt. You just 10 seconds, you have another one on there. And I got all the good short cables, and power is clean. All the daisy chaining is gone. Daisy chaining of 6-way boxes is gone. And that's it. And I tested everything and it works great. So I've got my match list down here, which is kind of sad. It's such an awesome amp, but it's hiding, but I can see it. It's right here. And there it's an H30 or C30, I'm sorry. And there's the Mark 7, and then the dual, and then the Cameron modded 800, and then the 77, and that's it. And that's like more than enough, honestly. I mean, I'm exhausted. Look at all that stuff I took off. That's a lot of noise, man. Now it's so clean. It was last night when I was, before I started this, it was like every time I touched the rack, it would go tick and I let go of it, and then I touch here and it go, and then it get quiet, and then it get loud. Then I touch here and it get really loud, and then I touch here and it would get quiet. I mean, it was like, and then these, you know, it was like, yeah, it was a ghost in the machine. And watch it all day while I'm ripping this thing apart. I've been watching that pedal show. I love those guys. They're funny, man. I love that video of the 1987 X versus the JTM. God, what a video, man. Good Lord, what a video. And they're using this cab, which was kind of the final, like, I'm going to get this because I just think it sounded awesome, that the 1960 AX. And yeah, and really inspired by, you know, a couple of videos to get this, the Boogie. I mean, Fluff's video is unbelievable. I just thought the sound was like, I just thought the track he put together with it was just like, whoa. You know, and Ola's was really good too. And actually the Mesa one was really good. So, yeah. And my homie Leon Todd put out a video like 2 days ago, right before I got this, about how Mark series amps work and how to set them. And I think he's got a Mark IV, maybe, I don't know. But isn't that weird? I even told him, I said, man, you have no idea. Like, I mean, obviously, he knew the amp had been released, so there was some sort of an incentive there. But it was exactly what I needed. So anyway, more videos are coming now. This is awesome. This is awesome.